Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Let's study together. Today we will be studying about the chapter The Merchant of Venice. Now, The Merchant of Venice is a 16th century play written by William Shakespeare in which a merchant in Venice named Antonio defaults on a large loan provided by a Jewish moneylender Shylock. It is believed to have been written between 1596 and 1599. Although classified as a comedy in the first folio and sharing certain aspects with Shakespeare's other romantic comedies, this play is mostly remembered for its dramatic scenes, and it is best known for Shylock and his famous "Hath not a Jew eye?" speech on humanity. Okay, so today we will be learning about the first act of Merchant of Venice. This is a comedy drama and it has 5 acts. Act 1 has got 3 scenes. Act 2 has got 9 scenes. Act 3 has got 5 scenes. Act 4 has got 2 scenes. And the final act, Act 5, has got 1 scene. Now it's time to learn about the characters in the drama The Merchant of Venice. First comes Portia. Portia is an heiress of Belmont. Heiress means a woman who is legally entitled to the property or rank of another on that person's death. A woman inheriting and continuing the legacy of a predecessor or successor. Next character is Nerissa. Nerissa is Portia's waiting gentlewoman. Nerissa is Portia's waiting gentlewoman. Next comes Balthazar and Stefano. These are servants to Portia. Next characters are Prince of Morocco and Prince of Aragon. They are suitors to Portia. Suitors are persons who are equal in marriage. They are eligible to marry Portia in same rank and honor. Now comes Antonio. He is a merchant of Venice. Next is Bassanio. He is a Venetian gentleman and a suitor to Portia. Antonio and Bassanio were very good friends. They had many friends in common. Some were Polanio, Salarino, Bresciano, Lorenzo, and Leonardo, a servant to Bassanio. Now comes the character Shylock. Shylock was a Jewish moneylender in Venice. Jessica was his daughter. Tubal was another Jewish moneylender. Lancelot Gobbo was a servant to Shylock and later to Bassanio. Old Gobbo was Lancelot's father. Next comes a character Salario. He was a messenger from Venice. These were the named characters in the drama The Merchant of Venice. The other characters are jailer, Duke of Venice, magnificios of Venice, servants, attendants and followers, messengers and musicians. In the very first scene of Act 1 of the drama The Merchant of Venice, let's start the explanation of Act 1, Scene 1 of the drama The Merchant of Venice. In the very first scene of Act 1, we find Antonio, Salarino and Salanio enters. Antonio says, "In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff it's made of, whereof it's born, I am to learn, and such a want with sadness makes me of, that I have much ado to know myself." Now the explanation. In sooth, means really, it is true. I know not why I am so sad. I really don't know why I am sad. It worries me means it bothers me. You say it worries you. You say it bothers you too. But how I caught it? But how it has went through me? How have I found it? Or how have I come across it? What stuff it is made up of? Or where it is born means where it has started. I have to know. And such a want with sadness makes me off. That means it makes me so crazy. The sadness makes me so crazy that I have much ado to know myself. It means that I really unaware to know who I am. So here Antonio is bothered, confused, and he is a very nervous person right now. Next, we are introduced to the speech of Salarino. Salarino says, "Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There were your Argosies with portly sail like signors and rich burglars on flood, or as it were the pigeons on the sea do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings." It means Salarino is telling Antonio that his mind is tossing in the ocean. Tossing means moving to and fro. It is causing a tumult of botherations. There were your Argosies. Argosies are big merchant ships of Venice. Okay, so Salarino says to Antonio that his mind is in a tumult. There his big merchant ships with portly sails. Portly sails means fat, wealthy sails which are not easy to get destroyed. Fat and wealthy sails like signors, like a wealthy man. Signors are the specific titles which are given to the high rank woman or man. So, like signors and rich burglars on the flood. Burglars are a citizen of a town or city, typically a member of a wealthy bourgeoisie. It means Salarino says Antonio that his mind was tossing on the ocean, where his ships were full of sails, like gentlemen and rich citizens on the water, or as if they were in a possession of the sea. He also says, "Do overpeer." Overpeer means look over. Do overpeer the petty traffickers. Look over the minor merchants that curtsy to them, do them reverence, that bow to them and pay them respect, as they fly by them with their woven wings, as they fly by them with their wings flown high up in the sky. So here Salarino gives a pretty exaggeration on the tumult or confusion that Antonio was going through. Now comes the speech of Salanio. Salanio says, "Believe me, sir, had I such a venture forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad." It means, believe me, sir, have faith on me, sir, trust me, sir. Had I such a venture forth, if I had to go for such a daring, risky journey, adventurous journey where money had to be risked, further, the better part of my affection, what I would do for my better would be to keep a positive hopes for on the expeditions. I should be still plucking the grass to know where sits the wind. It means I should be cutting a blade of grass and raise it up in the air to view the movement of the air, where in which direction the wind is blowing. I would set my sail in that direction. Peering in maps for ports and piers and roads means looking over the maps, looking for the ports, and piers are narrow shelters that gives way to passengers, and roads. Here roads are sheltered pieces of water where ships can lie safe from storms. And every object that might make me fear misfortune to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad. He means to say that everything that can give a threat of fear or gives a threat to misfortune for this adventurous, risky journey can no doubt make him very sad and depressed. Salarino and Salanio are the companions of Antonio. Here Salarino says, my wind cooling my broth. My wind means my breath, cooling my soup. Broth means a thick soup. Would blow me to an ague. Ague means fever or shivering. So he means to say that his breath is cooling his soup that can make him much more fall ill with fever, that can give him shivering because of the thought that is coming to his mind, that what a harsh wind can do in the mighty sea. So that is why this is an exaggeration that is given by him. He says, my wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague. Whenever the thought of fear is coming in his mind, what harm a wind too great might do at sea, that what a mighty storm can do at sea. Should not see the sandy hourglass run. It means that he is telling he will not see the sandy hourglass run. Sandy glass hour means it is a kind of apparatus consisting of two glass bulbs or ball, and the sand is filled in it. So he is telling that the sight of the sand within the glass brings him to an uncanny fright. To see time pass by slowly and slowly, it brings him a cause of worry. But I should think of shallows and of flats. Instead, he wishes to think about the plateau of the sea, which rises up near the surface of the sea, which are dreaded by the mariners. So all over he wants to say that his breath is cooling his soup, which is making him ill, and whenever the thought of the mighty damage of the wind that can do to the sea is coming in his mind, it is making him much more worried. So he shouldn't see the time pass by in the hourglass of the sand, but it would be better for him to think about the shallows and the sandbars. Again he says, and see my wealth Andrew dock in sand, veiling her high top lower than her ribs. My wealthy Andrew, it is a name applied to any big merchant ship. So he says that seeing his wealthy ship of war run aground or lowering her high topsails tower than her to sink causes a thought of fright, which means veiling her top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side would scatter all her spices on the stream, enrobe the roaring waters with my skill, and in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing? By this he means to say, even if he goes to church and sees the holy building of the stone, edifice of stone means holy building of the stones, they would make him remember about the dangerous rocks that would pierce through the vessel's side, the gentle vessel's sides. Then what will happen? The vessel will crash to the dangerous rocks, and all the spices that were loaded in the ship would get scattered across the water, and the silk cargoes would go rolling inside the waters. And then what would happen? It would scatter all the expensive materials out in the sea, and in 1 minute a lot amount of worth money would be nothing in a minute. Then he says, Shall I have the thought to think on this? And shall I lack the thought that such a thing be chanced would make me sad? But tell me not. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. Then he says, if he had the mind to think on all about this, then he would lack the mind to see that such a thing would happen. Wouldn't it make him sad? That is why he says that he is not to sad. It is very obvious for Antonio to be sad on thinking upon his merchandises. Here Salarino expresses his thought of fear anxiety for his best friend Antonio. What does Antonio say now? He says, believe me, no, I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore my merchandise makes me not sad. He wants to say, believe me, no, I thank my fortune for it. My cargoes are not all loaded on one particular ship, or not they are going to one particular place, and not that my whole estate is based on the fortune of the present year or the running year. So my shipment don't make me sad. Salanio says, why? Then you are in love? Then as a friend, Salanio suggests Antonio that the worries and his anguishes are coming because must be he is in love. Antonio says, fie, fie, that means nonsense, nonsense, it's nothing like that. Now Salanio says, not in love neither. Then let us say you are sad, because you are not merry, and 'twere as easy for you to laugh and leap, and say you are merry, because you are not sad. Which means, Salanio says, not in love either. Then let us say that you are sad because you are not happy, and it is easy to say that because you laugh and leap and say you are happy, because you are not sad. Again he continues, because you are not sad, now by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time, some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at the bagpiper, and such of vinegar aspects that they'll not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. He means to say that now looking at both sides, that nature has made strange fellows in her time, some that will peep through their eyes with the help of their forehead, because some people have got very small eyes and they need to thirst upon an object to view, and then laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and the other of such sour dispositions, that they'll never smile, although a wise old man swears that the joke is funny. To elaborately explain it, it was Old English custom to doubt or double the negative for emphasis, and there was no thought of two negatives cancelling each other out. Here they mentions about Janus. Janus was a Roman god. He was always depicted with two heads, and both the heads were opposites on each directions. He is mentioned here simply with the idea that nature creates two different types of men with different outlooks. That is why here Salanio is making an exaggeration and saying about that nature has made strange fellows, that in her time some people will peep through their eyes even if their eyes are small, and they laugh like parrot, nothing to laugh at, only at a bagpiper, and the others will feel that the wise old man swears even when the joke is funny. So here is just an exaggeration given, where he continues to say that a laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and for such other vinegar aspects, that they'll not show their teeth in a way of smile, through Nestor swells the jest be laughable. Enter Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano. Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman. Gratiano and Lorenzo, fare you well. We leave you now with better company. Here he means to say that there are some people who never shows their teeth while even to smile, though the word Nestor means a Greek warrior. He is mentioned here as symbolic of seriousness and gravity in general. So he says that there are even person who doesn't even smile back with their teeth open, but they keep such a serious personality and they never swears to laugh even if the joke is laughable. There enters Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano. And Bassanio is the most noble kinsman of Antonio. He is a man of honor and high grade. So here they comes in and Salarino and Salanio exists by saying that they leave Antonio with a better company, that is Bassanio. Salarino says, I would have stayed till I had made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me, which means he wanted to say that he would have stayed with him until he had made Antonio happy, but since Salanio has stopped him or prevented him, he is going away. Then Antonio says, your worth is very dear in my regard. I take it, your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart. So Antonio says that your value is very dear to me, and he is very respectful in his own cause, and as he has to go, as he has his own work to do, that is why Antonio will not stop him. By this enters Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano. Salarino says, good morrow, my good lords. Bassanio says, good signors both, when shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceeding strange. Must it be so? So Bassanio means to say, good gentlemen, when are we getting together? Say when you are turning into strangers and we haven't come on it yet. By this, Salarino and Salanio exists. While leaving, Salarino says, we'll make our leisures to attend on yours, which means we shall wait until you are free again. Lorenzo says, my lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you, but at dinner time, I pray you have in mind where we must meet. Lorenzo reminds Bassanio by saying, my lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we will leave you, but at the dinner time, please remember where we are supposed to meet. Bassanio says, I will not fail you. By this he means to say that he remembers and he will definitely be there at time. Gratiano says, let me play the fool. Here Gratiano wants to say that he can do anything for Antonio to make him laugh. If Antonio plays the role of a tragic hero, he can play the part of a fool or a clown. With mirth and laughter, let old wrinkles come. It means with merrymaking, with laughter, let all the sadness and depressions fade away, and let happiness restain. Let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. It means it is better to fill up his liver with wine so that his blood springs upon his hot personality that can bring up laughter, merrymaking, and joyful personality from inside rather than the depressions to kill him inside his heart again and again. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandies cut in alabaster? Now alabaster is a white stone which is used to cut statues. So he says that if a man's blood is warm to do merrymaking, if he is very joyful personality. If he is full of mirth, why should he sit like his grandfather, whose structure would be like a statue cut from the stone alabaster? Sleep when he wakes. Why should a person sleep when he is awake? He should be mirthful, he should be merrymaking. And creep into the jaundice by being peevish. Why should a man be irritating? Peevish means a irritating personality while letting jaundice creep inside a body in a spiteful manner. So he indirectly wants to say Antonio to be happy. I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and it is my love that speaks. There are a sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond. So he wants to say that I tell you what, Antonio, I love you very much, and it is because of my affection and love that I am telling you all these things. There are sort of men, there are type of people whose visages means whose facial expressions do cream like it appears like. Here cream means it appears like, and mantles like a standing pool, like the foam on the milk, the foam that froth on the milk, or the green foam that occurs upon a still ponds. Some people appears to present such a very still personality with a foaming personality, with a foaming expression in their face, so that they look very intelligent and wise. So he says, and do a wilful stillness entertain with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit. By a foaming, serious expression in their face, they try to make them appear very much sharp, very much serious, very much wise with profound ideas, as who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I open my lips, let no dog bark. So he says, that is, those people are of nothing use. They are of no use. And he calls himself as Sir Oracle, or he wants to present himself as a fortune teller. And he says that whenever he opens his lips, he doesn't let any wise person even to interfere within his speech. So that is the phrase for let no dog bark. O my Antonio, I do not know of these, that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing. So he says that I am of not like those people who create such a good facial expression to prove themselves wise and of profound personalities by saying nothing. It doesn't give any value to society. I am very sure if they should speak would almost damn those ears which hearing them would call their brothers fool. He uses an exaggeration by trying to make Antonio understand his statements. He says that those reputed persons who frame themselves to be very purely wise and serious and profound in their knowledge, even if they uttered their knowledge in front of the society, their brothers would call them idiots in their ear. Okay, that means society will not accept their intellectualities even if they present in society. So some people are like these in society who represents themselves to be very serious, and that is why one should not keep such a personality, because one should be happy. Then he says, continues by saying, I'll tell thee more of this another time. I shall tell you about this some another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait. But don't think about this matter anymore. Fish means to go for fishing. Melancholy bait is like a net which is used for fishing. Melancholy means depression. So he simply says that don't fish upon it. Don't think about depression very much. For this fool gudgeon, this opinion, gudgeon is a kind of fish which is very easily caught, which is very easy to catch. So he says that depression is a very easy kind of fish that can be caught easily. So don't waste your time upon this. Then what happens? Come good Lorenzo. Lorenzo comes in Very well a while, I end my exhortation after dinner. So he says that after dinner he shall end his explanations. Lorenzo comes in and he says, well, we will leave you then till dinner time. Lorenzo says, Bassanio, that okay, fine, we will leave you till dinner time. We'll again meet you while after the dinner. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Bassanio never lets me speak. So he wants to say that Lorenzo says that Bassanio never lets Lorenzo speak, so might be he will be like the same wise dumb people who presents themselves to be very profound in their knowledge, because Bassanio never allows him to speak. Bassanio says, well, keep me company but 2 more years. Thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue. By this, Bassanio means to say that, well, keep me company only for 2 years and you will never know the sound of your own voice. That means he will be dumb for ever. That is just a normal friendly expression that occurs within two friends. Antonio says, farewell, I'll grow a talker for this gear. That means he says goodbye, it'll be better talking after dinner. Gratiano says, thanks, I faith for silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and not a maid vendible. Bassanio means to say thanks really, because silence is only commendable in a cow's dried tongue and in a girl who is not for sale. By this, Bassanio and Lorenzo exists. Antonio says, is that anything now? Which means Antonio wants to say, is there anything to talk about more now? Bassanio says, Gratiano speaks in an infinite deal of nothing. More than any man in all Venice, his reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of shafts. You shall seek all day ere you find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search. Which means, Bassanio says, Gratiano speaks an infinite deal about nothing. More than any man all in Venice, he speaks. His reasons are like 2 grains of wheat which are hidden into bushels of corn husks. You can look all day before you find them, and when you found, that small quantity you have got is not of any worth. Antonio says, well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of? Now here, by Antonio's word, we come to know that Portia is going to be introduced in scene 2, and she is the one who he is speaking about. He tells Bassanio, well, tell me now about the lady, the one you swore to make a secret trip to, the one you promised to tell me about today. Bassanio says, "'Tis not unknown to you. It is not unknown to you. That means you know everything, Antonio. How much I have disabled mine estate. How much I have reduced my resources. By something showing a more swelling port. By something means to certain extent that can be a wonder to be show off or to showcase, like an appearance of wealth and ostentation. That my faint means would grant continuance. That means my scanty income can enable to continue or keep up the resource full like previous. Nor do I know make moan to be abridged. Not it is that I have any grudge because I have a low resource now. From such a noble rate, but my chief care is to come fairly off from great depths. That means from such a high class of living, from such a noble class of living to something to come out honorable from. A phase in which my life which has been rather wasteful, has left me involved into nothing. Wherein my time something too prodigal has left me gagged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most in money and in love, and from your love I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debts I owe, which means he wants to say that he has an assurance because he loves Antonio very much, and because of this love and honor that Bassanio has for Antonio, he can guarantee to unburden. Unburden means to remove the load of burden. All my plots and purposes, all my fields of work and my reasons, how to get clear of all the debts I owe. That means how to get free from all the debts, by which he means to say that he wishes to hope to get clear from all the lends that he had done, and that he would like to pay them all by means of love. Antonio says, I pray you, good Bassanio, means please stop, Bassanio. I request you, Bassanio. Let me know it. Let me know it means tell me about it, and if it stand as you yourself still do. He means to say, if it is there, if the debt is there, as he is present in front of Antonio, he is as honorable, and as he himself is still there, he should be assured that Antonio's purses, Antonio's persons, and Antonio's utmost ability will be there for Bassanio's benefit. That means Antonio with everything will support Bassanio in his bad days. So that is the meaning of the last four stanzas. And if it stands as you yourself still do within the eye of honor, that means eye of honor means in the case of honor, because I respect you, because I honor you, be assured, get my promise that my purse means my money, my person means my ability to work all my contacts, my extremist means my everything that I have in my life lie all unlocked, is all available for you to your occasion for your every need. Here Bassanio says, in my school days when I had lost one shaft, he remembers about his school days when he was small. He says that when in his school days he was very small, one day he had lost his shaft. Shaft is a narrow piece or a handle kind of a thing which is attached to a spear. So he says that he had lost his shaft. I shot his fellow for the same fight the self same way with more advised watch. So he says that as he had lost one shaft, he had the second shaft and he had thrown it in the same direction of the one which he had lost in the identical length in an identical way, but with much more thoughtful care to find the one that he had lost, to find the other fourth, to find that he had lost, and by adventuring both, I oft both found. And to find the one which was lost, he had risked another arrow to find the boat, and he had found the boat. So he adds, I oft found both, means I had found both the arrows, one of the lost shaft and the another which was thrown with the same direction. I urge this childhood proof. I am telling you about this childhood incident or fact because what follows is pure innocent, because now what I am going to say you is as pure as my childhood memories. Okay, I owe you much, and like a willful youth, I owe you much means I respect you much. You are of my greater appreciation. You are a willful youth means you have a lot of ambition, faith, and prosperity in your life. You have much more confidence within you. That which I owe is lost. that you have given me, you have lent me some money and I have lost that. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self way, if you lend me some more money, then I shall spend it or I shall invest it in the same manner that following like my childhood incident, and I will get it back also. I do not doubt as I will match the aim or to find both. Means if you lend me some more money, I shall owe you a lot, and like a confident man, I will bring you back the money that I have spent or the debt which I couldn't pay you back. So he says Antonio that if Antonio lends him some extra amount of money, then he will obviously provide him the double that he was unable to pay right then. So he says, that which I owe is lost, but if you please to shoot another arrow that self way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt as I will watch the aim or to find both or bring you later hazards back again and thankfully rest debtors for the first. So this is what is explained previously. Again I want to say it in full. So Bassanio here tries to say, when I was in school, when I had lost one arrow, I shot another arrow of the same length or identical length in the identical way, but with much more thoughtful care, to find the one last arrow, and by risking the other, I often found both. I am telling you about this childhood event because I say next is as pure and innocent. I owe you a lot, and like a willful youth like you, I have lost what I owe to you. But if you please lend me money in the identical way that you lent me the first money, I don't doubt as I'll be more careful and to find both sums, or I'll bring you the second loan back again and just owe you thankfully for the first one. So Antonio says, you know me well, and herein spend but time. He says, you know me well, and waste time here to twist a story about my friendship with examples, to wind about my love with circumstances. Means the way I love you, you with the giving examples, you are twisting your tails and you are putting a question on the trust and love that I owe to you, because your situation is crucial. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong in making questions of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. Which means, and no doubt you insult me by questioning the limits of my friendship as if you had wasted everything I have. Then do say to me, what should I do, that in your knowledge may be by me be done, and I am preset unto in, therefore speak. Which means you only have to say to me what I should do that you think I can do, and I am committed to it. So ask me anything, and if it is possible for me to do, I will do anything for your good. I will do anything that will draw your aid. Bassanio says in Belmont is a lady richly left. Bassanio says that in Belmont there is a rich lady. She is the heiress of Belmont. An heiress is a lady who is entitled to get the entire property, wealth, honor and valor of father and forefather by right and honor. She is fair and fairer than words. She is beautiful and even much more beautiful than the word beautiful itself, of wondrous virtues, means of excellent trait and personality and quality. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. By this he means to say that the silent glances reveals Portia's thought whenever her eyes met Bassanio's. Her name is Portia. Here he introduces her name, that her name is Portia. Nothing undervalued to Cato's daughter, Brutus's Portia, nor the wide world ignorant of her worth. So here he compares the Portia of Belmont, who's the heiress of Belmont, to Cato's daughter, who was Portia, as well as Brutus's wife, Portia. Cato was he is the famous Roman statesman and also named as Marcus Porcius Cato. He was a Roman statesman in the pre-Christian era. In Act 1, Scene 1 of this play in Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare introduces Portia and is compared with the another Portia of Belmont. So one Portia is of Cato's daughter and he is also Brutus's wife. He was also equally rich and famous that the entire world has known about, and he refers that Portia to this Portia of Belmont. The four winds blown in from every coast renowned suitors. He means to say that the north, south, east, west, the four winds means the four direction calls every suitors, worthy suitors, the person who is eligible for Portia's hand in marriage were invited from all sides of the world, and her sunny locks hang on the temples like golden fleece, and her sunny locks are golden, the color of her hair was golden in color, and she was so fair. And fleece is the term which is referred here to. The reference is to a famous legend of ancient Greece. Fleece usually refers to the crop of wool from the back of ship or ram. Here Bassanio exaggerates the beauty of Portia and her golden curls on her fair face that resembled her beauty, that enhanced her looks, to the golden fleece which makes her seat to Belmont Colco strands, by which he means to say that beauty of golden locks makes Belmont her home, a rich island in the lake. And many Jansons come in quest of her, and many Janson means many suitors come, just as Janson come from old. Hold a rival means he would be a position where he could be the best suitor to Portia. So Bassanio says that there were many people who were ready to marry Portia, and they were already in their way to receive invitation for her hand in marriage. Oh my Antonio, oh my dear friend Antonio, had I but the means, if I would have a chance to hold a rival place, to hold a position, to be as if a groom for Portia, with one of them, with all those people who would be present there, in Portia's hall of marriage, I have a mind presage me such thrift that I should questionlessly be fortunate. If I only had the means to compete with one of them, or compete with all the people who had come to marry Portia, I have a mind that predicts such good luck for me that I will undoubtedly be very lucky one. Antonio says, Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. You know that all my valuable money, merchandises are all at sea. Neither I have money. I do not have any money with me, nor commodity, nor any products that would suit to your words, to raise a present sum, or to give you that lump amount of money, so that you can go for Portia. Therefore go forth, therefore go out, try what my credits can in Venice do. What my credits in Venice can do means, see what my credit in Venice can do for you. Credit that shall be stretched, or money that can be given to you that would meet your expenditure. That shall be racked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont to fair Portia, which means that would be enough for you, so that you can go for Portia to Belmont and be the best suitor of all to marry her. Go presently inquire, and so will I. Please go and find out, and I will also do the same investigation. Where money is, where would be that value of money, and I no question make to have it on my trust or for my sake. Which means go now and ask where money can be found, and I will also do the same, and I will not object to borrowing it on my account or in my name. Then both of them leaves. That is the end of Act 1, Scene 1. Let's continue with our next scene. So please, if you like my explanation, then please subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell for more audios.